What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Legitico Response. We cover political news. We keep you up to date, keep you informed with everything that the government does. And the deep state has its fingers in just about everything, folks. Even in Congress. Uniparty. Y'all know, you know it, you love the Uniparty. You can't help but love the Uniparty in Washington, D.C. These people are some of the most corrupt individuals on the planet. All they do is raise money for wealthy corporations, as a matter of fact. And if you try to come after them, they're going to try to do everything they can to take you down. You see it every single election cycle. These people get it in their head that we're going to take this guy out. I mean, if you move against them, you are going to be harassed until no end. Check this out. Ethics probe into Matt Gaetz now reviewing allegations of sexual misconduct and illicit drug use. Oh my God, here we go. So the Ethics Committee has been investigating Matt Gaetz since 2021. Yeah, that's right. They've been investigating him for a while. The DOJ, the FBI, have been investigating Matt Gaetz for, I think, since 2020. They've been investigating him for a while. And you might wonder why. Well, because he doesn't play ball with the establishment. He's one of like a Freedom Caucus. Of course, some of the Freedom Caucus, they do kind of play ball with the establishment. As a matter of fact, if you ever hear a congressman say that they're in good standing, what that means is as soon as you come into Congress, they tell you you have to raise $250,000 by this date. Every single year. So you got to go to fundraisers and talk to lobbyists and get them to give you money. It's just insanity. So to be in good standing, you have to have at least raised $250,000 for the GOP or the RNCC or you know, one of these organizations that run the Republicans or the DNC or the, you know, any Democrats. It's the same thing on both sides. They all play this stinking game. Well, there's a famous story about Matt Gaetz. Is one of the reasons why I like Matt Gaetz is he came in and they basically told him that he had to raise $500,000 to be able to get on a committee. No, I'm sorry. It was the $250,000 outside of being in good standing. So it was basically $500,000 in total. So he had to raise this money just to get on the Armed Services Committee. And this was outright insane. So he essentially took his own money, wrote a check, and paid his way onto the Armed Services Committee. That's BS. Why are they forcing congressmen, these people that are supposed to be representing me and you, they're forcing them to pay money to get onto a committee? Huh? No, that their job is to be on these committees. These committees investigate the federal government. They investigate other things as well to keep the people informed. That's their whole reason for existence, or part of the reason for their existence, right? They're also there to legislate, of course. But, you know, when they're not legislating, because I guess this Congress hasn't done much legislating at all. They've done a lot of investigating, though, but when you're not doing legislation, you investigate stuff for your constituents or for whatever, you know, whatever is going on, whatever is affecting the United States government. You get into it and you investigate. Well, you have to pay to get on these committees. I don't know. I just find that abhorrent behavior, if you will, because you expect me, like if I was to get voted into Congress, you expect me to go and raise money to give to the RNC so I can get on a committee? No, I'm sorry. There's something deeply corrupt with that. But let's get into the story. The House Ethics Committee on Tuesday gave an unusual public update into its long-running investigation of Rep. Matt Gaetz, saying its review now includes whether Gaetz engaged in sexual misconduct and illicit drug use, accepting improper gifts, and sought to obstruct government investigations of his conduct. The committee also announced that it was no longer reviewing 4 other allegations involving the congressman, including that he shared inappropriate images or videos with colleagues on the House floor, or that he accepted a bribe or converted campaign funds to personal use. Gaetz has categorically denied all of the allegations before the committee. Yes, and these sexual misconduct allegations have been going on for a while. Like I said, there was a Tucker Carlson interview back in, I think it was 2020, it may have been 2019, where he come out and he's talking all this. It was actually kind of a weird interview because Matt Gaetz said he sat down to dinner with Tucker Carlson, and Tucker Carlson on air said he didn't remember that whatsoever. You know, kind of made it weird, but ever since then, I'm like, oh, this congressman is doing some corrupted crap. Let me follow this guy. I started watching a lot of his speeches and a lot of the committee hearings around him, and I kind of kept up with that investigation, and come to find out it was all bunk. The DOJ dropped the charges on it, but that turned me on to Matt Gaetz and actually who he was as a congressman, and that actually turned me on to more congressmen that are like that. Yeah, there's several congressmen out there that do not care about raising funds for the GOP. Sure, they might go ahead and do it, but they don't care about that. They care about their constituents, or at least everything they do that you can see appears that that's what they're doing. They're voting in the interest of their constituents, and they're voting in the interest of the American people in general. In a tweet Monday preempting the committee's announcement, Gaetz noted that the ethics panel closed 4 probes and said those investigations had emerged from lies intended solely to smear me. That's exactly what, right? Because the DOJ investigated all this. They said, hey, there's nothing here. Nothing whatsoever. And the ethics committee is investigating Matt Gaetz not because of some corrupt illicit drug use or anything he may have done on the House floor. No, it's investigating him because it's putting pressure on Matt Gaetz. It's saying, hey, we're the establishment here. We're the uniparty. We're watching you, buddy, because he ousted Kevin McCarthy, who just so happens to be the biggest fundraiser for the Republicans. That's right. Yeah, that is a feather in the cap of Kevin McCarthy, if you will. Which, by the way, what happened to Kevin McCarthy, right? Like, he gets ousted from his position as Speaker of the House, and all of a sudden he wants to retire. Like, hang on. I can bet money we're going to see Kevin McCarthy on the board of one of these large companies. He's going to be some consultant or something. He's a board member or something like that here in the near future. I can almost guarantee that because these congressmen get a lot of connections with a lot of these corporate types, if you will. Instead of working with me to ban congressional stock trading, the Ethics Committee is now opening new frivolous investigations. They are doing this to avoid the obvious fact that every investigation into me ends in the same way, my exoneration, Gaetz said on the social media platform X. Gaetz led the effort to oust then Speaker Kevin McCarthy from the office last fall. Several Republicans joined him in deposing McCarthy along with 208 Democrats. Many House Republicans remain angry with Gaetz, arguing that McCarthy's ouster was a selfish and destructive act that hurt the party. And I'm sorry, they can whinge and bitch and cry all they want to. These people don't belong in the Republican Party. If you are willing to allow Kevin McCarthy to lie to the Republicans, betray the Republicans, stab them in the back, and put a knife into the back of the American people, vote with Democrats and call it bipartisanship, when you just submit everything that you wanted and just submit to the Democrats and give them everything they wanted and you get nothing. No, I'm sorry. We have a problem here. You are not voting in the interest of the American people, nor the Republican Party. Who cares how much money you raised? That's what Kevin McCarthy, that was one of his arguments as to why he should be Speaker of the House. How much money he raised. When you have millions of people out here that are struggling to get by every day, these people are patting themselves on the back at how much money they raised to give to a large corporation or to give to the GOP or to give here or to give there, instead of voting with your head, voting with the interests of your constituents in mind, trying to make their lives easier. All you're doing is worrying about the next fundraiser, the next dinner with the lobbies. That's all they seem to be worried about. And you expect us to get mad at Matt Gaetz for ousting Kevin McCarthy? No, I'm sorry. You know, the corporate press can whinge all it wants to, saying, oh, it's chaos in Congress, blah, 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 blah. Matt Gaetz, he's a chaotic, extreme right wing. No, sorry, you can go to hell. I don't care about that BS. I want these people to vote in the interests of me, an American citizen, not voting in the interest of the next fundraiser. I don't care about those people. I care about the laws that are passed in Congress. You know, when these people vote for $1.7 trillion deficit spending, we have a problem. When they vote in the interest of the lobbies, we have a major problem here. And that's all Kevin McCarthy was doing. Making deals with Democrats, the Uniparty, just stabbing Republicans, the actual conservative movement in the House. You're going to go against that as a Republican. Yeah, you deserve to be ousted, my friend. And now, because of this, the Ethics Committee just so happened to find something new to investigate on Matt Gaetz. Gaetz blamed McCarthy for the Ethics Committee review, even though the investigation began before Republicans took the majority in the House. What, huh? You love how the corporate press does this, right? So they started an investigation a long time ago, right? And it was on some bunk charges, but it's because Matt Gaetz doesn't play ball with the establishment. And then he blames all these ethics committee investigations on his ouster of Kevin McCarthy, and then the corporate press backdoors that and says, no, fact check, false. These ethics committee investigations started long before House majority took. But hang on, corporate press, didn't you just say a couple of paragraphs ago that they have brought up new allegations? They just attached it onto the same investigation. So there you go, corporate press. Yeah, did you think I wasn't going to catch that? Did you really think I was going to buy into your bullshit? You gotta watch the corporate press, y'all. I'm telling you, these people are snakes in the freaking grass. This is Soviet. Kevin McCarthy showed them the man, and now they're going to try to find the crime, Gaetz wrote on X. I work for Northwest Floridians who won't be swayed by this nonsense, and McCarthy and his goons know it. The committee has begun its review of Gaetz in April 2021, deferred its work in response to a Justice Department request, and renewed its work in May of last year after the DOJ dropped its request that lawmaker hold off in investigating. That was worded weird. That was shortly after Gaetz announced that the Justice Department had ended a sex trafficking investigation without bringing charges against him. The Ethics Committee said that despite the difficulty of obtaining relevant information from Gaetz and others, it has spoken with more than a dozen witnesses, issued 25 subpoenas, and reviewed thousands of pages of documents. One thing under investigation is whether Gaetz dispensed special privileges and favors to individuals with whom he had a personal relationship, the committee said. The Ethics Committee cautioned that the existence of an investigation does not itself indicate that any violation of law or House rules occurred. The statement said that no other public comment will be made on the matter. I wonder why. I wonder what they could be doing. Oh, they're putting that disclaimer out there because they know for a fact that here in a few months they're going to go ahead and drop this investigation because it's absolutely bunk. It's just funny how all this stuff in Washington works. You don't play ball with the establishment. That's what we've got to work on, folks. That's why we need to vote in our primaries. We need to kick out the old guard and put new people in Congress. People that aren't going to play ball with the uniparty, with the establishment, with the deep state, because they're all entangled like some web of lies or some stupid BS like that, right? Like, these people think that the American people are dumb and oblivious, which for the most part they are. I ain't gonna lie, a lot of people are mostly oblivious to the corruption that goes on within Congress. But once again, that is my reason for existence. That's why I'm trying to get people to share these videos, Get out there and spread the word. Tell people, look, he may be a boring guy to listen to, but it's relevant information on saving our country, for God's sakes. Everybody's always worried about, oh, who's going to vote president in? Who, President Trump isn't going to save anybody. I'm sorry. You may think he's going to be some savior that comes in and doesn't know. I'm sorry. He's not. He may come in and wreck shop a little bit and do a little bit of good. He may start with kicking the ball down the road for getting rid of some of this corruption, but he's not going to finish it. I can promise you that, not in 4 years. And he's not going to be able to make much headway. That's another thing that is for damn sure. But one thing we can do is vote new congressmen into the House of Representatives. We've got to get some new people in there, y'all. These same old just corrupt career politicians just ain't cutting it no more. They don't care about me. They don't care about you. They don't care about the rest of the country. They don't seem to care if it falls apart. Why else would they vote to spend in a deficit? That makes no sense, folks. That makes absolutely no sense. These people don't care about the country whatsoever. It's like the ship is sinking and they're trying to steal all the jewels off the ship before the ship sinks. That's what it looks like to me. I don't know about you, but that's what I see. Let me know what you see down in the comment section, but I think that's all I got for this one, y'all. I want to thank everybody for watching. I do appreciate it, y'all. And y'all try to have a good day and stay legitical. Peace.